I guess we can start slowly. And today we're having Joystream at the space, and we have a whole, not just one person, but four people from the team. Padejo, the co-founder, and Tomato, OX, and Lead representing the council members. Could you guys give a brief introduction about yourselves and your role in the projects before we start with the questionnaire?
Sure, I guess I can start. So, hi everyone. Thanks for joining this space. My name is Padejo. I'm one of the co-founders of the Joystream project. I'm also the CEO of JS Genesis, which is a company that has launched and is tasked with supporting the development of the Joystream network. So that's for myself. I guess briefly stated, I've been working in crypto as an entrepreneur for about a decade now. I've been working for Joystream actually about that same period of time, but the modern version of Joystream has its roots back in 2018. And I've been building ever since. A lot of the people that you see on this call have actually been with the project for about as long. So we have a lot of veterans on this call. So with that, let me hand it over to Tomato. And maybe Tomato, you could actually set a little bit of context about like who you guys are from the DAO, what the difference is between the DAO and JS Genesis, and like what is the council. That's probably a useful context. All right, over to you, Tomato.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. My name's Tomato, and I've been involved with crypto for quite a long time, and been involved with Joystream for quite a long time. I basically work on governance and with the council, and also community building, and sort of try to build the community behind the project. And I sort of dip my toes into many areas of the project, I guess. And we have a system on our DAO where the council members are elected, and the outgoing council at the moment is myself, Leetjoy, and Zurex2BC. And it's a 28-day long council period, and we sort of make day-to-day decisions that kind of guide the direction of the platform, and we work on sort of longer term things like the project's roadmap and assigning resources between our different working groups, like for marketing or for developers or for infrastructure costs, and we sort of are in charge of the day-to-day decisions. JS Genesis is the company that created Joystream, and I believe it was like a four-year long development period, and we launched about a year and a half ago. So it's been quite an adventure. But yeah, that's about it, I would say. Delete Joy or anyone want to say anything else?
Oh, thank you for this introduction. Yeah, you guys can feel free to jump on and to add in any point of the session. We are very relaxed and nonchalant atmosphere here.
Sorry,
I'm
can
noticing
anybody hear
zero.
me?
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. On my side, you're showing up as a
Yes.
listener, not as a speaker. So go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I just switched to 4G. Hello everybody, glad to be here. My name is Andrew. I've been in crypto for a while, about like maybe 8 years. I got interested in since Ethereum run ICO, so I was exploring and like fully dedicated my time to this niche. Was participating in various projects since then. Yeah, in 2021, I've discovered Joystream, and I got really inspired by what the guys were building. So there was a founding member program where like any folks can participate and to help build the protocol. So I've joined the program, and I was a while, like maybe 1.5 years ago, finally there was a mainnet. So I start contributing on mainnet as a marketing working group lead, and sometimes joining as a council member also. So yeah, that's a short intro from me. Head over to StealthEX.
Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me well. All right, great. So my name is StealthEX2BC. You can call me Michael. I'm with Joystream since 2021 and in crypto in general since 2017, I think. I'm currently a council member and before actively participated in council, I was, I think, about 20 times on a council. So that's quite a bit. And before I participated in the testnet in many different roles. So mainly like a storage lead and a storage worker, also like a worker in a distribution group. So I've been in many roles in DAO and I know the system very well. So that's me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for those introductions. And before we start, I have a bit of a question. So how did you all guys got involved with Joystream? Assuming you guys are DAO members, likely, as we've seen, a lot of you just were community members and transitioned into being on a prominent position, or how exactly do you guys end up being at those positions within the Joystream? Because those stories are usually the best ones and motivates people to get involved with various projects out there.
I mean, I could say for myself, I've been involved in the project as a co-founder, obviously. So I was there in the very early days when it was only like 3 people in a room. And I'm not actually a like official participant in the DAO. I'm a community member, obviously, and I actively participate, but I don't hold a formal role in the DAO like these guys. But I think the earliest person I can really remember who has stuck around for all these years was Tomato. So maybe you want to tell your story, like how you stumble upon Joystream and like what the evolution has been on your side.
Sure. I sort of stumbled. I I stumbled across Joystream when it was a previous project. It actually used to be an incentivized BitTorrent client, and I really found the concept fascinating. And then the project sort of relaunched, I think, in 2018, and I was sort of paying attention, and I saw there were a few interesting things about it, and I saw there was a bounty one day. I think it was for promotion or marketing, and I kind of got very attached to the project and found the idea to be very fascinating, because I do find the current idea of social media platforms, especially the major dominant ones like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and also the way that those organizations and companies work, where there isn't really, they don't really take much responsibility, I guess, to be quite disappointing. So it was really exciting to, when I joined, I think it was only 3 or 4 people maybe. And it was really exciting to be a part of something that was at such an early stage and kind of get some of my own ideas in. And it's been really fascinating because it's sort of like a government on the internet with its own laws and, sort of ways that things work. And it's also really fascinating because it's a DAO and it's transparent, so you can see who gets paid what, and a lot of, like, the vast majority of our communications are completely transparent, and people can join our Discord, and like we have dozens of channels and you can kind of see what's going on. There's quite a lot of lively discussions, and we also have an on-chain forum where people can see what the DAO's currently discussing. We also even basically every workday of the week we have a daily stand-up meeting where most of the DAO come into a voice call, and we kind of go through what we're working on through the day and any questions and stuff like that. And we have like a weekly marketing meeting and a few other meetings. So it's quite an an open space compared to most companies, and you can actually just join and ask questions, and it's always invited, and it's been a really fascinating journey, and the project is really exciting and interesting to me still, and I think we have a very bright future ahead of us. Joy, do you want to give an answer on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was funny because first time when I heard not about Joystream, but I heard about Bedejo. I went through the article when it was something related to the white paper of Tron, I guess. And on the bottom of the article there was link to Bedejo tweet. I forgot I forgot what he did he tweet exactly, but there was something about some differences in the white paper. So yeah, I think it was late 18 or beginning of 19. But later in one of the community, like within the one Polkadot community in 21, I heard that the guy is building like a decentralized video platform. So I immediately got interested because that's one of the use case for crypto. I'm very positive that will work over long term. So I joined Discord and got involved. That's a short story. Xerox, you want to say something?
Yeah, sure. So my way in Joystream was, I think, very different from Tomatoes and yours, Joy. So I was in Joystream since 2021. And before that, I was participated in many different testnets with different projects. Mainly, I tried to contribute to early stage Web3 projects. But when I stuck with the Joystream, not really stuck, when I found it, that was really special experience for me, just because of its community. It was really, really awesome. And that's, I think, the main reason why I'm here, why I was with Joystream all these years. That's a very special community, the best community in Web3, I think. That's why I'm here.
Fascinating. Thank you guys for those interests. So yeah, for the listeners, if you're interested and becoming part of the project, you can always hop on their public channels, Discord, ask questions. I'm sure they will welcome you with open arms. Well, without further ado, let's start with the questions. For those who are unfamiliar with the format, we will go over, I think we got 9 pre-picked questions from Twitter, X these days. We will go over those. Then we will open up the chat for the live ones. And you guys feel free to take as many as you want. I don't want to hold you for more than the time that we discussed prior, which is 1 hour. But, we will do that if we have to. So let's start with the questions. How does Joystream differentiate itself from both traditional video platforms like YouTube and emerging Web3 video platforms?
I'm happy to take that one, if that's all right. So I guess what we didn't really cover, is what Joystream, what is Joystream? What is the vision? And I think you need to establish that before we could kind of differentiate ourselves. So the what of Joystream is that it's a video platform protocol. So what does that mean? Simply stated, just think of it as taking YouTube, the service, and then the company behind it, Google, and taking both of those two parts and putting it on a blockchain as a protocol. That's kind of what it is. And the goal of doing that is a few different things that we want to achieve. First of all, it's that when you put all the data associated with a social platform like that on a blockchain, it means everyone can participate on that platform equally. In particular, it means developers can always have unconstricted access to all the user-generated data, the social graph, to be able to build applications in a permissionless way. And that's really one of the things that are totally missing from current Web2 platforms. They're really built on the idea of locking in data and having one canonical experience that only one company can build experiences on top of. So by using a blockchain, it means that you have really a credible commitment to have all of that data and the ability for everyone to write to that data, to participate in an open way. So that's kind of one of the core goals for Joystream. So what it actually is, like how it manifests in the world, is that it's a layer 1 blockchain where all the social graphs, the member profiles, everything is on the ledger. It's available for everyone to participate and write to and read from. And of course, it has an associated storage and content delivery infrastructure, which is also powered by the same chain for holding onto videos and images and assets for the long term and then distributing them with low latency to end users. Like when you hit the play button in your browser or in an app, that's the infrastructure that is powered by that chain, which is responsible for doing. There's also a DAO, obviously, as you've heard from Tomato, LeetJoy, and StealthEX, where you have a council which is responsible for upgrading the protocol, for deciding on how to spend resources, what to do with marketing and development and all these sorts of things. And of course, there's a bunch of open source tools and applications for people to actually build apps on top of the platform. So that's like what Joystream is. So taking that back then to answer your initial question, how does Joystream differentiate itself? I guess with respect to like the Web 2 type platforms, where you both have something like YouTube or TikTok, but you also have kind of more free speech like alternatives like Rumble or BitChute or these kinds of systems, the key differentiator really comes from this openness and neutrality. So for example, on Joystream, no one can ever close your account. You can't freeze your account. You can't change your handle. You can't lose your followers. All this is like on the public ledger. So as a creator, you really have a very secure property right in what you're investing in. So that's a very big difference. The other is what I mentioned already, that it is on a ledger. That means developers can build applications in a permissionless way. Whatever you build on top of YouTube, first of all, you won't have access to all the data. Second of all, whenever YouTube feels like it, you will no longer have access to the data. It will be lower quality data or throttled access to the data or XYZ. So there really isn't a possibility of having a thriving ecosystem of different types of apps and experiences built by third parties on top of YouTube. So that's a really fundamental differentiator. And lastly, also, Joystream has some really amazing digital asset monetization tools, which allow video creators to monetize in a better way. So we have video NFTs, which allows your most passionate fans to own your videos, things that are meaningful to them. And we also have creator tokens where your community can get a stake in the upside of your channel on the platform. So these sorts of things that are uniquely enabled by Web3, which in principle you could see a Web2 platform incorporate. They really haven't, but those sorts of features are also kind of fundamental to the platform. So I'd say those are the key differentiators with respect to, let's say, the traditional platforms. There really aren't, I would say, like as a vertical within crypto, there really are not many video. I mean, there's a small vertical of like Web3 social where you have a few things like Farcaster or Lens or Connect or like a few of these protocols, but very few of them, if any, are focused on video. I think the only one that comes to mind is the library blockchain, which is what Odyssey is built upon. So it's like a really nascent space where not a lot of people have tried to innovate. I think, though, the differentiating thing between us and for example, library, and really, actually, if you compare to the not the non-video focused Web3 social protocols, is that we're a vertically integrated platform. So we handle every piece of the puzzle of delivering a video experience. So we have the content index, we have the long-term storage, we have the content delivery, metadata, open source apps, and of course a DAO that can help developers get onboarded and be successful on the platform. Whilst what you see in most other Web3 social kind of systems is that it will only be like a slice of these. So like it'll maybe only be a kind of a namespace for handles, like you see in Farcaster, and then a few open source standards, or it will only be the content index, like in CyberConnect, or it will like only be the content ledger, but doesn't have any way to actually deal with data. So I think that's maybe the big differentiator, even within Web3, is that we're very, very focused on this video use case. All right. So that was a long answer, but hopefully that made everything clear. I don't know if you want to add anything, anyone in the council?
Thank you for this answer. No, I'm sure it's been very comprehensive. I'm sure a lot of people now have a pretty good idea of what Joystream is, even though they weren't previously familiar with the project. Right, you said Web2 could technically do it, but Web2 platforms are also subject to all those regulatory norms that Web3 isn't necessarily subject to, at least not at this point of our industry. So that's why I think there's so much more that you can do freedom of speech wise comparing to the Web2 platforms. Anyways, continuing on with the questions, kind of stemming from the first one. How does Joystream plan to handle content moderation given its decentralized nature and the potential for conflicting content policies among various applications?
I guess I could take this one. So Joystream is the protocol, sort of like FTP or BitTorrent or whatever protocol you want to compare it to. And sort of the protocol's responsibility is to store and handle the video files and like comments and things like that. Built on top of Joystream are applications. Currently we have one called Gleave, which is our primary focus of attention, I would say, at the moment, although we do hope to have more apps and sort of different experiences, but the moderation of content is primarily up to the app operator. So the DAO itself sort of doesn't have a huge focus on content moderation as it stands. It's more of the responsibility of the app operator and the sort of content that they want to attract and use. We do have some very high level controls where we can remove certain videos, but we haven't ever used that function. It's not clear if we will ever need to. There are obviously some sort of legal and copyright issues that have to be accounted for at some point, so we just need to be mindful of that. But I think I'll just add something to the previous question about what makes Joystream a bit different is also that because the DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization, it's sort of like a government for the platform. So rather than there just being traditional managers and stuff, our native token, which is called Joy or Joystream, depending where you buy it, can be used to vote for different council applicants who can have a different outcome on the project and its direction. So I think that would be a big difference pardon me, comparing us with some other platforms where they sort of launched, but there's not really a clear direction to go in once it's launched, like what happens 5 years later. Whereas we launched like a year and a half ago, and the kind of problems and challenges we're facing today are really different to what they were a year and a half ago. So it's sort of, even with content moderation, it sort of allows the DAO it's like kind of like a sailing boat. It can go a different direction depending on who the captain of the ship is. But it allows us to be quite agile and, try to face up to challenges and adapt and make the platform exciting and user friendly and do the best job that we can. Thank you.
If I could just add, I agree with everything Tomato said, but I would add a little bit of nuance on one point. So, the one thing the DAO can do is it can tell its infrastructure to no longer store a video, right? And that's, if you think about it, not only for legal reasons, for practical reasons, you need to have limitations. It's costly to store data. What kind of data has what value? You need to have a way to control that if you're going to be paying for it, which is fundamentally what the DAO does. It pays for those expenses. But it cannot remove the data from the blockchain itself. So the data will always live there. It's immutable. And so if someone, for some reason, published some content or video to the blockchain, they could, of course, use any other hosting resource they wanted if they felt that the policy of the DAO was unreasonable or not workable or in any way didn't work. And in a sense, the content index itself is totally permissionless. And this model of kind of segmenting it into a public data layer, which is very open and permissionless, and an application layer where each application developer actually can be very, very restrictive in what they choose to surface. Maybe you want to only show kids content or only content that you think like not definitely stuff that's not for kids, or you're serving some niche, or you're in some country. There's a very wide range of things you may want to control as an application developer, but we don't need to have that. There's, in normal platforms, there is just like a one size fits all, because there's like one app and there's one index and it's one company and there's one experience for like everyone using YouTube on Earth. And that's why you often end up in these very difficult situations where you have to trade off, commercial interests and advertising revenue and all the edge cases that come up with content. And that's much less of a problem when you have this model that you see in Joystream. All right. That's it for me.
Thank you, guys. That makes a lot of sense. You basically give power to the creators and create and restrict their applications to whatever audience they seeking to attend to. The next question: how ethical and effective is the strategy of YouTube vampire tag in terms of transferring content creators to Joystream? What are potential legal and ethical implications?
I guess I could answer this one. When we have an app called Gleave, and we have a tool called YPP, which stands for YouTube Partner Program. And basically, it's a voluntary thing where if you or anyone in the audience, if you have a YouTube channel, you can sign up through gleeve.xyz. That's GLEEV.xyz. You can click a button to sign onto your YouTube account. You give it a very limited set of permissions, and we have a tool that will take the content that you've posted onto your YouTube account, and it will basically synchronize it onto Joystream. It's done with your consent, so you can't go and synchronize someone else's channel. And it's kind of up to individual users whether they want to partake in it. We don't force users to. It's up to them. And if you sign up, that you can possibly get rewards out of signing up. We have some different tiers. And it's basically because YouTube is such a dominant player in the industry, it makes it quite easy for people who already have pre-existing content libraries to synchronize their videos to our service. Some people have like 10 or 15 videos, which isn't a big deal, and some people have thousands of them. Certainly, I think we're also kind of trying to move towards improving our user experience for uploading videos and make it more accommodating where people will want to upload to us instead of YouTube. But we're slowly getting there with that. But I don't really think there's any ethical quandaries with it. It's definitely not copyright infringement or anything like that, because the user who owns the channel has to consent to it, and at the end of the day, they're the one who has made the video and are stating that it's theirs. So it's something that is up to users to decide. But yeah, I don't really see that there's any issue with it, and part of our own philosophy as well with Joystream is that the platform is open. So even if you wanted to leave Joystream, you'd be able to take your comments and your followers and you'd be able to access them. Whereas with YouTube, you can't even really do that. I mean, you can export your videos from YouTube, but you can't sort of bring the data that is a part of your social profile with you. It also makes it a bit more interesting for us in that we can have interoperability with other social applications if they want to use our data for different things. There's certain tools you can see for YouTube that, like the ones that will go through the comments and you can search the comments a bit easier. There's sort of real edge cases, but YouTube has quite strict API limits and won't let you access the data, but it's kind of this, I guess it's an ethical quandary of like, humans contribute to that data set, but they're not allowed to use it freely. So I guess it's a bit in that essence that we actually allow quite a bit more freedom than YouTube. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Anybody wants to add anything to Tomato's answer? I'll take it as a no then. Well, thank you, Tomato. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of things that may come along the way, especially regarding, kind of legal and ethical implications, especially when we're talking about such giants as YouTube, who currently have, vast majority of the market in the video sort of space. Let's continue on with the questions. How does Joystream plan to leverage blockchain technology to enable new forms of content monetization and value exchange?
I can take this one. I guess I kind of alluded to this already. So there are like two primary new ways we allow content creators to monetize their audiences, and in a sense for their audience to get closer to creators. Like it's a two-part thing, right? And really we're here focusing on creators that have a small but very passionate audience. If you're a creator who has a very large but like dispersed audience with like a mild attachment to you, then I think the advertising model and the traditional model is probably as good as you can do it. But that's not the vast majority of creators. The vast majority of creators can't even get their content monetized, and even if they do, the amount of revenue they can generate is very small. So we're focusing on how you can get more out of the people who find what you make really valuable. So there are really two tools we offer to creators. One is video NFTs, which is effectively allowing your videos to be bought and sold and to be owned, and for that ownership to be publicly displayed. So as a user, your kind of association with that creator and this content becomes in the public domain, and it can be shown in apps, and your kind of status and taste and kind of financial prowess is visible for everyone kind of in your niche or your subculture to display. So that, if you just think of a random video online, that won't make a great deal of sense. But if you identify with some subculture or some community or some vertical, then actually having your persona next to it actually means a great deal. You're able to tell a story to people who are kind of in your niche about who you are and what you value, which is something that people actually spend a great deal of effort and resources trying to do. So video NFTs is one part of the toolkit. And I think what actually makes us quite unique is, there have been people who have played with video NFTs, but it would have been kind of detached from a platform, right? And I think the key point about NFTs is being able to show them in context in a way that's socially meaningful. So having video NFTs embedded with the platform is far more powerful than just having some video NFTs in some random portfolio website somewhere. So that's pretty important. The other part of that toolkit that we're bringing is creator tokens, which is effectively kind of like a financing vehicle for creators where they can share in the revenue that they generate on Joystream, the platform, with whoever holds that token. So it's effectively a way for you to raise funds and to be able to have liquidity in order to pay for, improving your channel and generating more revenue and more content in the future. And it kind of makes your community a stakeholder in what you're doing, and they're kind of taking a bet on you as a creator. So both of those tools, as you can notice, the common denominator is you need to have people who really value what you do, but you don't need to have that many people. Like, you don't need to have 10,000 people to buy video NFTs or to buy your creator token for it to still be very meaningful. If you have 100 people or 50 people, that can be very, very meaningful for you as a creator. I hope that I went a little bit deeper there on what I already mentioned are the two things we're bringing to the market for video creators.
Awesome. Well, thank you. No, I think there's definitely a lot of ways to kind of impose those new ways of monetizing content rather than from what we already know that has been traditionally established in the Web2 space years and years at this point. Without further ado, continue on with the questions. We have a whole bunch more left actually. Video communities is the new application plan for fourth quarter of 2024. Can you share more about the vision for this feature and how it will make it easier for communities to join and use Joystream?
I'm happy to take this one, but I know this is close to your heart as well, Tomato. If you want to.
Yeah, sure, I'll take it. So video communities are, sort of like subreddits on Reddit, depending on how you want to look at them. And the internet is basically built on online communities, Discord servers, Twitter Spaces, whatever you want to call them. And they're sort of a way for creators and viewers to bond together and share common interests, whether it's cat videos or cooking videos or video gaming videos, or, want to watch videos about meme coins, whatever your sort of interest in them is. And video communities are particularly interesting because they haven't really been done, I think, well, that I've seen on any video platform so far. So it's one of the really interesting areas for Joystream as a project to be able to kind of build something that doesn't exist yet. And it's also the case that with our platform, we want to attract more app developers, but it's very technically involved, and it's quite a limited number of people who have the technical expertise required to develop like an app. Like if you had access to YouTube's data and you wanted to build a different app rather than YouTube, however it would look or act, you would need to put in at least several $1 million worth of, research and development and design and server infrastructure and a whole bunch of things. So video communities will actually make it easier for people to build something like their own app. So if we were YouTube, you'd be able to go to the front page and sort of build your own experience for your viewers and your community to join and engage with. And I think we also hope to offer some unique monetization options for communities to kind of reward them for the ones that are particularly valuable. Reddit's a really interesting comparison because Reddit doesn't actually offer any rewards to its contributors for the most part. I think the only reward they've ever gotten was an offer of buying discounted shares when Reddit had an IPO recently. But for the most part, everyone on Reddit kind of contributes for free. So if you were able to incentivize communities, it would be quite valuable, I think. And that's sort of the core of everything we're trying to do involves communities and community building and trying to attract the best people and the best video makers and the best viewers and provide a really amazing and distinct experience. And video communities is definitely one of the untapped areas, I think, when it comes to videos. So I see a lot of potential in them, and I'm quite excited to see what we can deliver for that. Thank you.
Yeah, let me add a little bit there. I agree with everything Tomato said there. This effort kind of grew out of our experience with our open source application called Atlas, which anyone can really take off the shelf now. It's totally open source. They can buy their own domain, spit it up. Their infrastructure is there. It's all fully documented for how someone could kind of run their own parallel instance of our reference application. But it just turned out that it's an extraordinary amount of effort actually for most people to do so and keep it running and keep it up to date with updates and then the people who would be able to do so are possibly not the same people who are actually good at building communities or know some niche of content niche that actually is suitable for this kind of verticalized experience. So we realized that we should find a way to do that which doesn't require someone to basically be an engineer. So it's the equivalent of, for example, starting a subreddit rather than trying to host your own forum, right? That's, for most people, that's way too hard, but starting a subreddit is just a few clicks of a button. So that's kind of where the motivation came from. But you could also see that it kind of mirrors the way most social platforms actually work. So if you think of any one of them, but if you take Twitter, you as a Twitter user, you don't actually engage with most people on Twitter. You're within certain sub niches or sub segments of the Twitter audience. So, crypto Twitter is precisely that. It's like a sub segment of Twitter. And there are many other versions. There's like AI Twitter and econ Twitter. Like there are many sub communities that are actually pretty segmented from each other. Where, if you're someone who has a profile there, it's not really relevant to you that there are people who also discuss crypto stuff on Twitter. The only people who are relevant are the people within your niche. But what it does when you have like one mega platform is that it becomes way harder for the platform to really connect the people, the creators and the viewers to each other in a meaningful way, surfacing the right content and also having the right rules for discourse, for moderation, for recommendations. Everything becomes much harder when you're trying to do it across like all possible types of content and subcommunities. So by allowing there to be this natural segmentation where people self-select into a particular subcommunity, our bet is that it's just going to be much easier for a new creator, for example, to actually get in front of the relevant people to see their new video for how to properly deadlift or something like that. It doesn't help them that there are 2 billion monthly active users on YouTube because almost none of them are relevant to this person's video. But being able to target the people who actually like that kind of content more accurately, that's actually what's valuable. So that's the idea behind video communities, and that's what we're working on for Q4 indeed. We're really excited about that.
Awesome. This makes a lot of sense. It's kind of putting everything under one roof. So, right, for example, I'm into dirt bikes. I'm like dirt bike Reddit, and I have to search for content there. But then if you have that kind of segregation already enabled within the platform itself, the need for the outside platform for that community kind of falls off. It makes it nice and neat organization of the content within the platform itself. Very cool. And I guess it's also a great tool, sort of a user retention, so the user stays within the ecosystem without having to go to other places. All right. We have more questions left. Can you share more about the governance model of the Joystream DAO and how token holders can participate in decision making and platform upgrades?
That's a very interesting topic. I can start. So currently we have 3 different players in our governance system. These are council, working groups, and voters, who are basically token holders. I'll start with briefly explanation of who the council is. So this is a fixed size committee, currently 3 persons in the council, and they are up for election at the regular intervals by token holders. Currently, it's about 1 month. Every month, we are electing for a new council, and council members manage. They do very important tasks. This, I would say, council members something similar to management board, and basically we have council members who are management board. We have working groups who are kind of department like HR, marketing, builders who are our engineers, and so on. And so council actually council is tasked with the role of voting on proposals in our proposal system, and these proposals are kind of on-chain things that help to manage the whole DAO. For example, council can vote on proposals to distribute the rewards across different working groups. Council is doing, I would say there are 2 main areas which council mainly focused on. There is kind of operational management, day-to-day management, and strategy. Things like strategy planning. Council do plans for long-term DAO development. Then they decompose these plans and implement these plans into working group. They distribute budgets across this working group and make sure that the plans are actual, that plans are achievable, that all working groups are on these plans and everything goes smoothly. So this is like how our system works. And going back to your initial question about how token holders can participate in decision making for DAO, token holders are the main entity who are basically votes for council members, and they make sure that by this their voting, they choose the best people for a council who will lead DAO to best outcomes. This is very shortly speaking. I believe Tomato and LeeJoy can, add something.
Yeah, yes, that's a very great description. Thank you. Yeah, I'll just want to add that something that really sets Joystream apart from traditional DAOs, that actually this hierarchy, like a system where we have these subdomains who are responsible for certain operations, for example, marketing. So we do the voters do not really vote on every proposal like it's happening in some Ethereum DAOs or in Polkadot, whether they need to distribute certain budgets, let's say for marketing or for development, certain things. So we have working group leads who are in charge and they're accountable for the council for any decisions. So, for example, me, I'm now hired as in marketing, so I have some amount of joy in stake, and I'm accountable for the council. So I make planning and using resources from the DAO, and we have this dedicated people for every department, for builders, HR, or storage or distribution. So that's it is very different from how like traditional DAOs operating. And another, I just wanted to add how people can get involved. So actually, in every proposal, we have our own chain forum, and every proposal, like a major upgrade or any like serious improvements within the DAO, we have this discussion threads on Pioneer. So first, we posting pre-proposals where all community can discuss and we can came to consensus, or community members can share some of their inputs for the council consideration. Then we discuss those on calls on Discord. So like before actual execution of the proposals, there is some lifetime, depends on the proposal, so where the community can get involved and shape actual that direction. That's it, I think, from me. Tomato, do you have something to add?
I guess I would just add that we're kind of an interesting system as well, because although the council make the decisions, anyone is free to make a proposal. That could be for funding if you have a cool idea, or if you want to see some change or some sort of initiative. The app we use for governance is called Pioneer, and it has a forum that's built on our blockchain, which is actually a really unique feature, and it means we don't have to rely on external communication platforms or forums, which in the case of Bitcoin kind of got maliciously taken over with Bitcoin Talk and some of the subreddits. But if you go to the Pioneer app.xyz domain, you can sign up for free and read the forums and contribute if you want to. We're always welcome to new ideas and new people. So if you take an interest in what we're talking about, definitely take the time to check it out. There's always people that will reply and kind of guide you on the right way. But it's an excellent way to get involved, and we're always looking for new people.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And we have a last question left before we go to the live section. We're kind of pushing time, so it's up to you if you guys want to get some live questions in. But anyways, the last one is kind of fun one. What does the Joystream name stand for? There are interesting stories behind every successful project. And of course, you guys have to work harder every day. Can you share one of these interesting stories with us? Thank you.
Well, I guess the name it's a very old name, as Tomato alluded to. This project actually started way back when, all the way back in the Bitcoin days, back in 2014 even. And it started out as a way to do micropayments over BitTorrent, effectively. And already at that time, it was called Joystream. Now, obviously, it's a very, very different project today, but that's where the name came from. But it's interesting, actually, because me and my co-founder started working very early in the space where, the set of things you could do on a blockchain was much narrower, both for performance reasons, but also just in terms of like the ideas that people had in their mind. You had a few blockchains like Namecoin and so on, but it was like a very small space. There was no Ethereum, there was nothing. And, we started to build this really payments version of the Joystream protocol, which was trying to allow basically seeders to get rewarded, which is a common problem in BitTorrent that they're not. And so therefore BitTorrent doesn't work for long tail content and for streaming and for all sorts of things. So that's where we started. But what really impressed us with BitTorrent, actually, which you could see kind of in the vision of Joystream today, is that BitTorrent actually used to be a very vibrant ecosystem. It used to have tons of venture-funded companies. BitTorrent Inc. itself was, of course, venture-funded. But there was like a very healthy ecosystem of clients that were venture-funded. You have tons of software built for trackers and all sorts of tooling and software. Which that's not surprising in some sense because it did constitute like some 40% of all bandwidth online at some point. But, really key to that was the fact that it was a protocol. It was open. Anyone could sit down over a weekend, look at the spec and write a BitTorrent client, and they could bring their ideas to the market for how that experience should work. And as a result, you probably have seen many hundreds of BitTorrent clients on the market over the many years. And so that was really the big strength of BitTorrent. And, BitTorrent itself was a stateless protocol, so it never could really rise to the occasion to be a modern social platform. There was no notion of shared state the way Bitcoin introduced. But that core idea that, you can unlock a lot of innovation by having something be a protocol rather than a private company in and a secret MySQL database, that I would say is still part of the vision of Joystream today. So that's, I would say, is part of our DNA as a project, stretching very far back.
Awesome. Anyone wants to add anything to it? Alrighty. And it's time to let some live questions in. We are pushing time a little bit, but I'm sure we can take a couple. Let me pick somebody who has been here since the very beginning. I think this person has been here since the very beginning. Kobe, adding you as the speaker. Kobe, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself though. Yes, we can hear you.
I want to ask Joystream, how does user data safety when uploading videos in your platform? How safety are their users' data privacy?
I can answer that. The user data is basically up to users to share. We're a video platform, so we're not like a private messaging platform like WhatsApp or like Instagram direct messages. So most of the data is completely public. We are looking at adding gated content, which would be content sort of like OnlyFans or whatever model you want to use, where a creator can gatekeep certain content for viewers that pay for it. But on the whole, when you upload, it is publicly accessible because we're sort of in the same vein as YouTube and Netflix, where the content you're uploading is for a wider audience on the internet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the answer. Let's get a couple more questions in. And please let me know when you guys have to run. I don't want to keep you any longer than we should, right? This person, very eager to ask a question. DeFi Mayor, adding you as a speaker. DeFi Mayor, looks like we're having some connection problems there. I'm gonna give you a couple more seconds. Yeah, yes, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself. There's the little microphone icon on the left side of your device. Alright, looks like we have some technical difficulties with DeFi Mayor. Let's grab someone else. This guy has been here since minute one. Buddy, adding you as a speaker. You can speak now. You have to unmute yourself, per usual.
Hello, sir.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
Hello, hello. You can ask your question. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you. What are the activate future in your project? What are the vision and goal in your project? What are you want to activate the remaining part up to 2024 and yours? Thank you, sir.
Did anybody get that?
I think
Quite.
he was asking about the future of the project. We have a roadmap accessible on our website. If you go to joystream.org in your browser, there's a button up the top that says roadmap. We periodically update it, and we just recently had a meeting to discuss the most recent version of it, so you can kind of get an idea of the things we're working on there. If you want more detailed information, we have our Pioneer forums and our Discord server. We post council plans and reports. and working group plans and reports, and they sort of give a great overview of what the project is trying to achieve and the initiatives it's working on across things like marketing or software development or infrastructure initiatives and other things like that. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy. Let me remove you from the speaker. Okay, let's grab one more and call it a day. Let's pick someone who has been here for a while. This guy has been here for a while. Bengu D, adding you as a speaker. Bengu D, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself though. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So my question is, do you have an ambassador program?
I'm happy to answer about this. Yes, we do have ambassador program. We started it maybe 3 months ago, I guess, and we already onboarded some of creators to our program. And currently, we have a second phase of onboarding, and it ended a few days ago. But we plan to do some changes, and we will be announcing our next phase soon. I believe within next 2 weeks. So I guess we will share this on Twitter. If you have any specific question about the program, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So my question is, do you have a audit certificate?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you have a audit certificate?
Yeah, Joystream was audited before its launch.
If you mean audit, I guess that's question to Bedejo, but from what I know that yes, the blockchain was audited by two companies who audit in Substrate. Am I correct, Bedejo?
Hey, yeah. So Substrate, the blockchain, was audited by SR Labs and Quarks Labs before launch. So you can find those on our GitHub.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Bengu. Well, that was a very informative session. Very interesting to learn about what you guys do at Joystream and how you guys envision this Web3 video hosting sort of space. I can't really say hosting, right? Because you aren't actually hosting anything like YouTube does, for example. Anything you guys want to add before we wrap up?
Definitely, I would say, this is a full stack platform. So we do marketing, building, governance, infrastructure. So if any of these things are interesting to you, if you have skills in these domains and you think this mission is compelling, by all means, please join our Discord. Just join our daily stand-up tomorrow, and you just get a flavor for the people and what they're talking about. And I think you'll find a really welcoming community and actually some really meaningful work you can contribute pretty quickly towards a really big vision. So you're all very welcome to join. And we're eager to have you. And thank you for joining the call.
Thank you. Fascinating, guys. Thank you for this session. Thank you for every listeners and people who ask the questions. Keep an eye for the prize winners as we are giving away some tokens for the best questions. We will announce them shortly. And for those who missed the space, we will be posting a recap. I guess you guys could probably post recap on your platform as well, in a video format. But yeah, keep an eye on that, and thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.